Hello. Welcome to another episode of Thought OPPS. I am one of your hosts. My name is Steel Biz. We have over there.
I am your other host. I am EJ Briz. Hope everybody had an amazing, wonderful week. You know, all that positivity. Get rid of all that negativity. You know, positive vibes.
All right.
Yeah, we have a guest today.
Yes, we do.
Hello. Hey, it's your girl Britt from Beaut Tea Told Podcast.
We'd like to welcome you because, you know, we love having guests on here every week. That way I gotta...
You ain't got to deal with him directly.
I gotta get my shot in first before you...
Whatever. We are happy to have you here today. We like, yo, your brain's looking good.
Well, thank you. They hold on. They hold on.
Makeup. She look like she do makeup. That's what look like she do makeup and braids.
Well, I dibble and dabbles in my makeup.
Yeah,
you know, I do what works.
Yeah, she looking really good.
Well, thank
really
you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Every time we have a young lady on here, he be cheesing. He be
Yeah, go ahead, get on my nerves. So my week was pretty good.
Man.
I had a pretty good week. We still trying to narrow it down for the people that we want to be a part of.
Look over here to me. Why you looking at me?
Anybody that's like trying to be a part of resentment, Eric is holding it up, and Sid and Tiny.
Why you
and
doing
Nazy. They're the ones holding it up. No, but we had so many people that audition, and you know, we trying to get the right people in there, and it's just so much talent in the city and around the country, and man, it's a lot of talent. So trying to narrow this down, you know.
I'm gonna be playing multiple parts in there too.
No,
I just said that.
He just gonna be sitting around. He just a part of it because he my friend.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we wanna, you know, be happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You want me to
Talk about your week.
Expound on my week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, my week was cool. You know, I got to see my son in the performance yesterday. So shout out to my son. He did an excellent job. I was proud of him. He was all pointing to his friends like, "This is my day," and everything. And then tomorrow's his birthday, so I like to wish my son an early happy birthday.
Oh,
He's 9 years old. 9 more years. He's 18. I'll take care of him. So,
So you think?
Why I feel like his son wasn't in the show for real. He just wanted his son to be in a movie, so he like my son performed yesterday.
I got pictures. Man, it's so funny. That dude, he act like he's scared. So that dude be like he be doing the performances. He just don't be caring.
You know who you look like? You ever seen that meme? You know who Eric look like? You remember that meme with that dude? He be like, "I hate this church." That's who Eric look like. You look like you used to say that a lot.
You know what's so funny?
You go to the church.
Well, I was gonna say we all have said that.
You know what's so funny about that is like that little kid looks exactly like my nephew. It's like the spit image of my nephew. I thought that was my nephew.
Did you say you hate this church a lot?
Nah, but we would get smacked across the.
But I'm saying like not when your parents was around. I was asleep most of the time, so it was like I didn't even know. Yeah, they used to always be like, "Your son, that's always." Cause my father preacher used to be like, "Your son, that's always sleeping."
They
used to be like, I was always sleeping. But
no!
I love the Lord.
So Brittany, how was your week?
Yeah,
this week.
Week was good. You know, I cannot complain. It's been busy. Great interviews. Of course, I'm also on the pull-up experience, but I, dive into that a little bit more later on in the show. But
shout out to the pull-up experience. We love y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, and that was awesome that when we got to come together for the podcast Uniters. So much awesome talent, like you said, here in Cleveland. So that was a great event. With Brandon coming up with that. So
yeah, no offense to everybody, but now you're on the Thought OPPS, so now your week just got even better.
That is so true. What a great way to end the week. I love it.
And I know. I want to apologize. My sinuses is just acting up. That's why I sound like what?
Wasn't nobody even paying attention?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But I'm like not. I'm trying to be a part of. That's why I'm drinking the tea and the coffee and everything. Trying to get myself together.
Well, we'll get your stuff together. Get your stuff together.
I every episode.
You like 10 seconds out the door. Yeah, so we want to thank you for coming.
We appreciate
it. Thank you guys.
Now for the topics, as far as the entertainment topics that we talking about what's the two entertainment topics
we are going to talk about the WTF
Yeah, the guys.
Yeah.
Legion.
We need a woman's.
Yeah. So Legion actually responded, and I actually watched the whole 3 hours. I know Eric didn't.
You went 3 hours.
I watched 7 hours of hers.
Yeah, because they were 10-minute clips.
Yeah, so I watched 7 hours of hers. Because we were talking about it on the show, and you know the responsibility of it is that I got to watch it. He was supposed to watch it too, but he watched bits and pieces. So your opinion when you watch bits and pieces really don't count that much. So
I can give a little insight.
Yeah, so but
That's true.
And then also we're gonna talk about I don't know how many people, because it seems like a lot of people from Ohio haven't heard of this, but people like in Atlanta, it's called Carbonation. It's a
that's 2 words.
Carbonation. That was not their original name.
Yeah, it was Melanation.
Melanation, but it's a cult, and they just did a court case. And how are we gonna talk about that? We're just gonna talk about how, because the type of people that they have, is like, how do these people, educated people that served in the Navy, served in the Army, how do these people get brainwashed to the point where they believe that this man is God? And
it's like the leader got charged with some serious
accusations, words that we can't really say on YouTube, but you know, like ape and like a lot of different things. Essay and
it's not alleged.
And holding people without their will, and it's just crazy because he's doing life plus 10 years.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make fun or light of this, but if you're trying to get pictured, it's kind of like love and hip hop cults.
You keep saying that, but
I've seen some videos. I was like,
it's like to me, it's like a black Survivor. Like that's how they look, like Black Survivor.
Okay.
Because you see the picture. You see the picture, right? That I showed.
Yes, I showed.
Don't it look like Survivor-ish?
It do.
That's the background.
Yeah. So, but it's just crazy, and just listen to their stories and how articulate these people are is just crazy to me. That how did you? But you know they were trying to find something like. But we talk about it when we talk about that portion. Marie, she still had me reading this book. It's called A Little Life. It's an 814-page book.
A lot of life.
Yeah, but the thing about this book, like, it's like a crazy, sad book. So the portion that I'm on this book right now, where they're talking about the grooming. This guy is being groomed for to be taken advantage of, and he's in a foster home with priests. And it's telling about his life story and things that happened to him. He do self mutilization, like where you have like razors and you try to continue. It's just it's a really sad book. And I looked at the author. The author is Hanya Yanagari, and she's Asian. And I looked at the author, and this book was a National Book Award finalist. It's very well written, but it's sad as heck. I'm like, damn, this book's crazy. Okay. And then I ordered this book today. I know nothing about this book, but the person that actually the person that suggested that I read this book is the same person that suggested I read this book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she never failed. So she suggested I read The Trees, a novel, not that type of tree.
Now, you know, I was thinking about Mary J. Wana.
Yeah, because you're ghetto. And so I don't know. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks like an easy read. So I'm like, yeah, easy read book. So
He'll let us know. But the thing is, it might be the plot twist.
I got to stop reading this Monday because of the book club. We starting another book Monday, so I got to start. This is my second time stopping reading this book, so I got to.
Now, where you at?
I'm at page 445, so I'm halfway through. So it's kind of like I've been reading since the beginning of the year. I done stopped and read other books and completed other books, and then I got to go back to reading this book because I done read Erasure. I read The Black and the Berry. So
if y'all watched the past episodes, y'all know what we read.
Don't because a part of the show is about
if you're interested in it, please go back and give us.
But a part of the show is about reading. So
they can catch up on other things too on the episode too. They can catch up on your books.
But okay, all right. So okay, we get to talk about what you want to talk about in a second. Talk about you leaving. But yeah, so see, you made me forget what I was about to say. But yeah, what about your books?
Yeah, Brittany, what about your books?
What about no?
Okay,
are you reading anything?
Oh, ladies first.
No. Are you reading anything? No. I'm tired of your library books anyway. Go ahead,
Brittany.
Well, I was able to. So I interviewed on the Pull Up Experience, Mr. David Gully, and he had his own book that he had recently. I think it's been out for maybe a year or two.
Okay.
It's called Legally Blind.
Okay.
So basically, it's an easy read as well. So I was able to start to finish on one of my off days. Go ahead and read it.
How many pages?
It was about 70.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, about 70 to 74, something like that. And it just talked about his upbringing, having a parent with a disability, father not in the picture. So just really just goes through his trials and tribulations throughout his childhood into adulthood, and how it helped strengthen and make him a better man today. So it was a really good book. So
that's the local.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, y'all go ahead and get that, support that.
Yeah.
Consider all that.
Yeah, he's an alpha too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that. Okay.
You're all right.
Okay, so that I told you I wasn't like my sinuses are killing me. So yeah, so
You sure sinuses die?
Hey, that tree, boy. You got the trees.
okay, so those are the books that I'm reading, and we're gonna go on to the next segment of the show. Okay, so this is the portion of the show where we get to. I just don't like the way that you like nicer to him than you are to me today. So
I'm nice to both of y'all.
Man, you seem like a hater,
yeah,
bro.
so we're gonna.
What?
Normally the guests are nicer to me than they are to him.
I am equally nice to the both of you,
and
I am equally thankful for being
and
here.
I don't like that. You're supposed to be nicer to me.
I appreciate.
Okay.
I appreciate you, Brittany.
Well, thank you, Eric. Thank you.
I appreciate if you would be nicer to me than to him. So this is a portion. This is a portion of the show. Where
we about to get all up in your business.
Yeah, we about to interview you. So I asked the first question. So we know you do real estate, right?
No, I don't do real estate.
You don't do real estate. You do
finance.
Finance. You do finance.
Yep. I'm
Why
in
do
finance.
why do I always call finance real estate? Okay, you do finance.
Probably because
you don't read.
Right now I'm actually reading the 800-page book. Keep going to the library. Keep going to the library.
Hey, you see how the Lord works.
Yeah, he never worked for you. So you do finance, right? And podcasting.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing finance?
So my podcast has been since August 6th, so it's still just a baby, still learning, still growing. Now, I think I mentioned earlier today that I'm on the Pull Up Experience with Brandon, and I've been doing that for over a year. So yeah, shout out to the Pull Up Experience. If y'all haven't already, make sure y'all go and subscribe, pull up on us.
Yeah, we appreciate the whole Pull Up. Yeah, Brandon, excellent.
Yeah.
And finance, how long have you been doing?
Finance, oh my gosh, like over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years, yeah.
You love it.
You know what? For the most part, I do, because I love the financial, literacy side of it, because a lot of, my family and my friends, I guess you get to realizing that a lot of people don't really know as much as you think about finances. Working, in the banks and now a credit union, all ages, a lot of people are kind of oblivious to credit and how it all works. So that's where I just feel like that's a blessing for me, because I've been able to build my credit from out the mud and been able to just kind of do the research, do the grind, and really be able to now take that knowledge and help others.
That sounds excellent. So, if people haven't caught your podcast, I see you have the wonderful shirt on.
I do. It's new. Shout out to my girl Brittany.
Yeah, it looked dope.
Thank you.
Give us a little insight of what you talk about on your podcast.
Okay.
Some topics or whatever you do on your podcast.
Gotcha. So for the most part, Beaut Tea Told is it's more so geared towards relational, because I've pretty much been in just about every facet of a relationship. The only thing I haven't been is a widow, but I've pretty much done it all: married, divorced, single, dating.
Glad you haven't
and
been a widow yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I don't want to deal with death on either side. Okay.
I'd be kind of scared to have you next on the show.
You want to go see your show?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, go to his house.
Like he right.
Oh,
like
no.
he right.
You told me that before I got here.
Last episode, dude was like, "Oh, that's the witching hours," and I'm like, "Oh God," because we're talking about me not being able to sleep. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's the witching hours." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm talking about that."
Yeah, I was gonna say, "Yep, that's where you gotta do."
Yeah.
We're gonna stop that real quick. But yeah, relational, just kind of, again, taking what I've learned, what I've had to journey through and navigate through to be able to help better others is what my focus was. And again, my passion is finance. So every now and again, I think I had a couple segments where I talked about finances, whether it been credit cards, whether it been credit score, just trying to better us overall, you know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad you do a relationship podcast because we don't talk about relationships on here.
Okay.
I always say, I tell people all the time, you do not want relationship advice from me. I'm the last person. So.
Why is that?
You might.
He's bad at it.
Okay, in a nutshell, okay. So you better at it.
No,
So
we don't
be
talk
bad.
about it.
Okay.
That's why we don't talk about it.
Okay.
Let's don't take
That's
over
fair.
it.
That's fair.
We just need the advice. So it's like,
Yeah.
let me listen to you.
All right.
We
Good.
listen
Well,
to you.
tune in.
So, you talk about relationships, and are you talking about solely to like better these relationships? Are you talk about signs and things that you see in relationships when they're like red flags, things to avoid in relationships?
Actually, that's actually a good question. So, again, I do dibble in that. Actually, my episode, if I can get around to dropping it, y'all be patient with me, is on the red flags that sometimes we just, sometimes we see and then we ignore. But some of my, prior episodes have been just more so of, just how to better yourself, how, and from time to time, I'm sorry, I meant to mention this, I have guests on. So that way it's just not me talking all the time. My goal is to have a male counterpart so that way we can kind of get both angles on relational topics. Because I think in all fairness, we need to hear more than just a female talking all the time. So my goal is just for us to kind of know, I think one of them I did was situationships, so I would eventually have a guy on and I would love to hear the guy side of it, so just different topics, some, prevalent to today's world and what's going on in the culture. So just kind of addressing it.
Yeah, I mean, I know we don't talk about relationships, but I'll probably get kicked off this show. So if you ever need like something,
I'd love to have you.
You need a little guy on there. Sit there and talk about, I'm grown, I'm not a kid. Go ahead, you was asking something.
Yeah, so when you talk about relationships, is it just like the male-female relationship? Is it like family relationships? Is it friendships?
Okay,
like, what type of relationships are you like diving into?
So actually, that's a good point because right now it has been just relation male and female. Later on down the road, it will be more. I would love to do some on mental health because again, it's relational, it's finance, but also from time to time, I want to just do lifestyle. So I think I've done an episode or two where it's just motivation and uplifting. So that way, again, just bringing about positive change that sometimes you don't see. Typically on your YouTube channels.
Okay.
Because it's crazy because relationships do involve friendships and family
That's
too.
true.
Because those things add to like sometimes you look at like you young, you like I hope she ain't got no father because I don't feel like dealing with that dude. And then you get older, you start thinking I hope she got a father. So she don't have those things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like relationships actually is the things. It's the things that we were before that guides us to become who we are, and the things that we have around us too. That is a part of the relationship that we're.
And it's crazy that you said that because I was just talking. We was having a conversation because I was at work. I work with a whole bunch of guys, and we was just having a conversation. And I was like, I'm not trying. And I'm not being funny, and this is just serious or whatever. But I was like, me throughout my years dating, I haven't met too many fathers.
Yeah.
Well, you're black, so it's just. And it's kind of like, I mean, let me fix that. Wait, let me fix that. It's the truth. The black family, there's a lot of fathers now. Unfortunately, we had this thing called slavery. We had this thing called oppression. We have this thing called segregation. We had these things that like depleted the black family. Then we had this thing called crack. We had this thing, that it depleted the black family. So when I say you're black, it's not
in prison.
And prison too. So it's kind of like me and you grew up with our dads, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying our parents still married. My parents been married 50 years.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when I first moved to America, the first interaction I had with American kids, I remember I was 8 years old and I was in an apartment on Tarkington, and the kids came in the apartment and Huh?
Oh, no, we talk about it.
I know.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, the best apartments that look like projects.
I remember
The first apartment we lived
them.
in. And I remember the kids came into the house and they said, look, y'all sound crazy. Y'all sound funny. And then they was like, where y'all from? We was like, we're from Jamaica. And they was like, and then they looked around the house and they looked up at the mantle and they said, and they got a father. And I said, my first reaction was like, everybody have one father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they it started an argument. It started a riff with me being because I automatically assumed that everybody had a father because I'm used to everybody in my family had fathers. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have that close relation. Because in Jamaica you don't have that close relationship with segregation and slavery because slavery ended there first, and there's not a lot of prejudice because there's not a lot of white supremacy there because it's all black people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there's not people that's not divorced. I'm not saying that because those things happen. Right. But you don't have that you didn't have that crack epidemic in those days in Jamaica that took the fathers out of the house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Save myself.
Yeah. We needed that. All right.
Yeah, save myself. Okay. Go ahead. Ask your question, E.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your favorite thing about talking about relationships?
Favorite thing talking about relationships? Sometimes it's just funny revisiting what I've kind of been through or what similarly like someone else has as well. And just when it finally like the light bulb, I like to say, came on when you realize like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I think just realizing your worth and your value, and that way potentially in the future you'll find the person that's for you. So I just think the hopefulness for real love is, what I pride in.
I wish I had reached out to you, and this is not the last time I want you to come on the show either. But I really wish I had reached out to you before and forced you to watch the topic that we're gonna talk about later, because that topic is about relationships. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Risa Tisa and
I wish I would watch all of them too.
Yeah, because it's about
So when you're going, when you're having these discussions, amongst, with yourself or, with your guests or whatever, and it's like a lot of times when we look at relationships, we kind of dwell on the negative aspect of the relationship. It's like you have positive, but it's like the negative sticks out more.
Correct.
So when you, because I know I had it before, I started doing Thought OPPS, I had my own podcast because, I'm real big on mental health. And a lot of times I will go back into my past and that trauma, and it's just like reliving that trauma again. So does that like affect you or whatever? Because I remember like one time I was recording one of my episodes, and I was like almost in tears. You know what I'm saying? Close to crying or whatever. I know you're gonna start laughing.
I know it is.
But I mean, does like
told me this before you came on the show.
but does that like kind of like like reliving that trauma or whatever? I don't want to say your relationships was negative. Just kind of expound on that a little bit more.
So interestingly enough, I believe it's episode 2 if my memory serves correctly. I did go through a very traumatic end of my marriage, and I believe in God.
Yeah.
Shout out to God. My assignment throughout was to journal each and every day, the good, bad, and ugly of what was going on. And so to bring up your point, I still have those journals. So from start to finish, a year and a half I went through it. I still have them, and it does scare me, because there's been times that I've maybe went in a couple pages and I was like, oh my God, I remember that, and I could almost relive the hurt and gotta close it, because it some days were more painful than others. And so the great thing, and I think you also talked about this too, because you're a great advocate for mental health was real. Through that got to seek out a counselor, get what was necessary, and really get me together in here. And I think that's what helps me to not be so easily triggered by having to sometimes go back and see what I've been through.
Yeah, because like I'm open and I share some of my personal life, but some of my personal life I keep hidden, and it's just like one of the I have a son, and I ride hard for my son, but I feel like all parents do that, but I think I do it more is because like a lot of men don't talk about, like with me and his mother, we went through so many miscarriages, and it's just like, you know, having you know, seeing that you hoping you're having a child, and then all of a sudden, you know, your child is gone. It's just like, I know it's like hard for, you know, the mother, but I think a lot of times people don't really take in that it's hard for the father too. So it's just like, you know, it's like losing the child. It's just like, that's why I'm always trying to be the best father I can for my son, and be there for my son, because it's like, you know, I've dealt with that. And like, this is like the first time I'm talking about it on the show. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, with me being in therapy, is just like talking to my therapist, and that's why, you know, like me just thinking about stuff and just like going back is just kind of hard sometimes. And it's just like, you know, that's why I look at my son and like, I try to do everything I can, you know, to be the best father I can for my son.
That's awesome.
What's the benefits of journaling though? I know a lot of people about journaling.
Ooh, child. First off,
you sound like an episode 227. He's like, ooh, child.
How Mary was like, so somebody's gonna come and say, Mary.
I believe sometimes I got an old soul in it. Because I swear something things come out my mouth, I'll be like, what? But you know, I honestly, at the start of it, I was like, Lord, I'm not a writer. I used to be when you had to be back in college, but once I got in the door, I don't like to write. So journaling definitely was something that I know that it was definitely God assigned, because that was not something that was on my to-do list. But I think that it also helped me to be able to go back and know what all I've been able to overcome. So I think it's more of like a testimonial. So I think that journaling just helped me to get my feelings out before I finally got to therapy.
Okay.
So that was God's way of helping me to have release, so I'm not keeping all of these different emotions, because I went through them all inside of me. It was a great way to get them out and not have to talk to my girlfriends or my family, because they don't always have the best advice. And trust me, through that journey, they bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. But they couldn't understand, you know what I mean? So that was just something that I know God definitely was like, you need this.
Yeah, because sometimes your friends will tell you what you want to hear.
Right, yes.
And sometimes they'll tell you what they are feeling. And sometimes they just making it too closely related to themselves and not even to the situation. And sometimes you just want people to listen, and they won't. They won't do that. They just won't give their opinion.
That's exactly it.
So I have a quick question. Okay, so I've watched a few episodes of your podcast, and you have a you know, laid back, reserved podcast, kind of like how we have here. Yeah. But you know, at the beginning of the year, the Cat Williams situation.
Oh yes.
On Club Shay Shay and all that stuff or whatever. So, how would you respond or react if you had a guest come on there and they just start exposing people locally, especially by name? You know, people say stuff on episodes, and you know, it's like, but they don't really put a name on it. But how would you react if that happened on your podcast?
You know what's funny? The episode I'm trying to upload now, the delay has been the conflict of if I should, because they said it without saying it. So it's a touchy one, and I'm trying to figure out my editing mastermind how I'm gonna wing this, because I mean, of course, it was still dealing with the topic at hand, so it's not like I can dismiss it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, shoot, man, once this goes up, I'm sure she gonna be at my head. I know it, but it's gonna help some folks too. So I think that the good got outweigh the bad, I guess, in this situation. Would I like people coming on and exposing people? Absolutely not. If we can at least keep them nameless, that'd be great.
It's two sides to every story.
It is.
And I'm anti-exposure. If you watch the show, you know I'm more of the face-to-face person. Like, you got an issue with me, or if I got an issue with you, I'm coming this face.
Yeah, he more about cutting this off and be like, look, we coming right back. I gotta go talk to this cat.
So
we're about to do this for clicks and likes.
So I think I would have to do it too. I would have to cut it if it gets too out of hand, because like you said, you have to have some integrity to your channel, your podcast. And so for me, yeah, no, you can't. I'm gonna let you know before we even put the camera on, though. We not doing that.
Yeah.
And if they still choose to do it otherwise, then you know.
Oh, we've had people.
We
have people come on, but we not cussing. They be like, well, and then all sorts of cuss words coming out their mouth.
Oh yeah.
So people like
funny sometimes.
Sometimes it be funny because we pass like 30 minutes, you know, like
right.
YouTube
I was gonna say
YouTube not gonna ding you for it.
Yeah.
So what exactly is next for you as far as?
Gosh, that's a good question. Well, my baby is we're gonna continue to do this, so continue to thrive with Beaut Tea Told. I would love to eventually do like an ebook, you know, just in regards to the relational, even finance would be great, because I think even just ABC's a credit, you know what I mean?
So do a book so we can make it part of my book.
Do a book. Okay, all right. So it's gonna take me some time to get to 800.
This book is not part of the book. This book is not part of the book club.
Okay, it might be part of somebody else's though.
Yeah, this book is just a book of reading for pleasure.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna do my best though to make sure that it's a nice, good read. So
yeah,
definitely. But you know, just seeing what God has for me. This was definitely something that you asked me 3 years ago. Entrepreneurship was not even in my future, wasn't in my radar. I did not aspire to be an entrepreneur. I was cool with my 9 to 5, and that'd be that. Yeah. But it's funny how God has other plans. Yeah. And I just learned to roll with it.
We know.
Yep.
So I have one last question.
Go right ahead.
So one day you will have the Thought OPPS on your podcast, right?
Absolutely. I would love to have y'all. We gonna have a good time.
I'm
gonna have to play referee every now and again, but we gonna have a good time.
If you just want me on there, that's fine.
do it Friday at 6:30. Because that's normally when we record.
Thank you guys for accommodating. It was on the late night on Friday.
So Friday 6:30. Make sure that's when you have him on the show.
All right, gotcha.
I can do the show by myself. Did you want to shout out anybody?
Shout out to, I think I've already did it earlier, but shout out to the Pull-Up Experience. Shout out to my family, my friends, my guests that have come on thus far, and those that are in the future coming. Welcome, come on over. And, you know, everybody, you know, that rock with them, come rock with your girl.
You'll see us on there.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait.
He's not gonna be on there. She told me how much she don't like him. So Risa Tisa, and you got a relationship specialist on the show.
Yeah. This is the perfect.
Risa Tisa and Legion. So I finally saw Legion's version of
what's his real name?
Does he tell his real name?
Yeah, he does, and I totally forgot his real name. I can't be
calling people by these nicknames.
Yeah,
I'm thinking every time you say Legion, I'm thinking like Legionnaire or something like that. Like,
Legion of Doom.
Legion.
When you think Legion, you think of Ric Flair.
Yeah, like Legion. I'm like, ooh, that's some crazy nickname.
Because he does collect belts, like wrestling belts.
Oh.
I don't know if he could fit any of them, but he. But he does collect wrestling. Yeah, he does collect.
Okay,
that right. But they're very expensive wrestling belts.
Yeah. I would never.
But what she talk about on the show is like these two nerds. What you talking about? I'm like, he collect wrestling belts. So it's kind of like they two nerds.
Okay,
so I listened to his portion, whatever. I listened to her portion. It's just I don't know. I just had a hard time watching his because stories wasn't matching. Like he was talking about the phone being locked.
And wasn't he hiding money from her?
Yeah, he said he was hiding money from her.
She didn't deserve the money or something.
Yeah, and then everything that she said, all he kept saying was, it's a lie. And then he would have like this outrageous story where he'd just be looking up in the air and trying to, like he's trying to think, he's trying to come up with something. So it was just like, it was just weird. And they I ain't gonna say that because everybody deserves love. But, you know, like, but aesthetically they match a little bit. But
don't be looking at me.
I'm just saying
everybody be mean on this.
Yeah, but they just, it's just the whole thing. I don't know. I feel like he's trying to make men look at his, because it's easy to do that.
Yeah, but he does have a right to tell his side of the story.
And she's trying to do the same thing too. Yeah. Like they're both. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm saying both of them. Both of them are like trying to like cause that conflict and rift between men and women. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, man, I just feel like she dumb and he dumb. And when I say she's dumb, I mean like, I know dudes like Legion that lie. Man, I've been friends with guys that lie that much and lie that much to women, and I'm sitting there and listening to them lying, and I know the women that fall for dudes like that. Like I know the women that believe these things, and it's not even that they believe the things they say. They hope that something is true within it to where they could stay with this person because they desire love so much.
That stuff will never work with me. I always run into women with morals and values. So
okay.
The
thing is, she had morals and values, but he tainted them. Yeah. And then when he told the story about how he walked in, like the story that he told about her cheating was just so off base. Though he said he went to her job to bring her lunch. A lady came up to him and ran to him and said, "Your wife is sleeping with my husband," and then they met up to go to the house so they could surprise both of them sleeping together, and he still stayed with her. It just sounded weird, dude. And then he said when she was pregnant, because she talked about being pregnant and she lost the baby. He said that he stayed with her even though he knew the baby was for somebody else before because he didn't quarantine. Dude, it was just
oh my gosh.
like the stories were so, you know what I'm saying, his stories were so all over the place.
So I mean, give us some of
your
your expertise.
Yeah.
Where would you start on this?
Oh my gosh. You know what? And I've dabbled into the thought of going into this too, because I've got to watch about maybe 8, I think, of her episodes, which I know I'm barely touching the surface, y'all. Don't come for me. But what I did get to hear throughout even those 8 videos is you gotta trust your woman's intuition, your gut feeling. Like I just feel like it was not, and that, like you said, it had to override the fact that, you know, she knew that this didn't make sense, but she decided to still just ignore it, ignoring the red flag.
So my thing is like, and I'm not trying to. This is just me just having a conversation. So I mean, everybody's looking at her like a victim, but if it's she knew, I mean, didn't she bring this upon herself?
Well, it's kind of but you kind of, just like the thing is, we're talking about somebody's psychology, right?
Yeah.
And the things that people been through, right? And people trying to find something, because it's kind of like you a guy that sound very that don't sound sensitive at all. That sound kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh Lord.
No, I'm serious. That sounds that kind of like, you know, she probably dealing with, like, you know, Charlamagne say like that's big back behavior.
Oh, and I want to speak on that.
Yeah,
too.
that's big back behavior, because it's kind of like she has like these insecurities. She
does.
She said she's always been insecure about how she look, and she's trying. And then she go to the church. You know what I'm saying that her parents are telling her that she should be married. I'm not gonna say that this is her fault, because you just can't just go up to somebody and just start lying to them and just like trying to. If you know that, because people see you before you coming. Yeah. So he know the people that he could do that to, even though she's very intelligent, very articulate, but he know like this girl suffered from these things based on what she looked like. So let me take advantage of this stuff, because it's like people find victims, you know what I'm saying, and victimize people based on their insecurities. So to say, you know what I'm saying, because I'm speaking on the psychological sense of it, I'm not speaking on men versus women, because women do that stuff to men too.
I was gonna say
they do that stuff to men too, and they like use their money and take their money, and because certain guys have like insecurity, because to say it's not her fault, it sounds very juvenile to the point where it's like that's just a dumb bitch. And then it's juvenile to the point where when it happened to guys, like that's just a sucker, and that's how people talk. And I feel like that's an easy cop out.
Well, I mean, you can feel like that, and I can feel like I don't want to feel. But
that's what I'm saying. That it's like, I'm just saying that on a deeper scale, like that's, you know, like people go through that. Like that stuff happens. It would never happen to you because you don't have those insecurities that she had.
Because my thing is like, I mean, she's enjoying she's getting deals and everything. But this, I want to go back to the whole thing about when Charlamagne said that's big back, whatever he said.
Behavior.
I just feel like it's crazy that he said that, and then people got mad. Well, majority of women got mad. But when Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion, everybody was like, "Oh, well, he shot her because she's short." You know what I'm saying? It was. I didn't see no men saying like, "Oh, that was wrong for." You know what I'm saying? So. Why is it cool why is it cool for like when like for Tory Lanez or somebody short do something, a man do something, it's like, oh, it's because he's short. He got the short man complex. Why is that allowed? But then if somebody say, oh, that's big back behavior, then it's like, oh, you can't say nothing about that.
Well, Charlamagne kind of like, he a comedian in his own sense. So he's always done stuff like that. When he said it, it's wrong, right? But I feel like it's right. It's the truth. Like, there are women that because of their weight, they have these insecurities. So it's like the way he said something that's true is what people, and plus it's a lot of big backs. Like and people like they don't want to hear it because they feel it for the terminology. They feel it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's just that everybody's so sensitive but so mean at the same time, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I don't feel like they should like cancel Charlamagne for saying, because that is big back behavior.
Honestly, I don't think you should apologize. I'm sorry.
I don't think he should have apologized either, because I feel like we all destroy each other sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like the Tory Lanez thing, he's short.
Every time somebody,
people talk about aesthetics all the time. People talk basically about how people look all the time. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could watch the show, talk about how I look. Somebody could watch the show, talk about how you look. No one could watch the show, talk about how you look.
Well, growing up, they always had a lot to say about my complexion. So that's, so everybody finds something.
So it's kind of like, but I just think that it wasn't that serious.
Right.
Charlamagne always do the wrong thing at the wrong time anyway. He sniffed J-Lo's seat. You know what I'm saying? When she left. You know what I'm saying? He came a long way from that. But
I didn't know that, but all right.
Yeah, with J-Lo, you remember that? That was a long time ago. When J-Lo left, he sniffed her seat.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, what's her name?
Risa Teesa.
I mean, she got a deal out of the whole situation, so she's getting paid off of.
This is my thing too. With that deal out of the whole situation, how is it gonna transpire, or how is it gonna like relate to? Because she told a great story, right?
She did,
and the story was
but the story was
a story of the heart, right? And it was
correct.
Real, and it was in the moment. Mm-hmm. How is this gonna translate to like films? How's this going? Like, how is this gonna be like? Because sometimes they have all these expectations out of people because they did this, but they did this from the heart.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna want to watch another Risa Teesa show. That's I feel like I'm done with that. You know what I'm saying? I saw that. But let's just see if she could actually do something else.
You know what? Maybe it's because of the way she told the story, but I'm about to sound crazy, but it's like I hear stories about this, like this type of stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know why it caught on. So because it's just like you hear stories about, like you said, you hear stories about people finding victims.
Right.
It was just the fact that she articulated everything so correctly. She was so detailed. Yeah. And everything matched, and everything, even the things that made her look stupid. Sorry about that. Even things that made her look stupid, she still told those things. Yeah. And it was like, and the detailing of the story and how precise everything was, to where you could go to 54 and go back to 52 and everything go back to like 4. Right. And everything come together. It was just the preciseness of how she told the story, and that's why she got deals, because they saw all of those things, those intricate details, and the way she's able to tell a story. And that's why those people, they're professionals, so that's why they looked into that and was like, oh yeah, we're gonna give her a deal.
So could you see yourself doing that?
I've thought about it. I ain't gonna lie. I've thought about it because I went through a lot, but it's just a part of me that I don't want to get to the top by doing that to someone else. You know what I mean? Like it's just not worth it. I just think that I'm just gonna take what I went through, take it on the chin. Mm-hmm. Use it as a learning experience, just like she said. This is something that clearly opened up her eyes and mind. Like she'll never go through this again, or I should pray that she doesn't. Where you just learn not to do that again. And like I said, my different segments on my podcast, that's where I'm just trying to use my mistakes, use them. Feel free to. I'm very transparent, so that way you don't have to go through the same thing I went through. Like
But sometimes people, they do go through it again because sometimes
that's what I said. I pray she don't, because I can't.
Sometimes people, that's
say.
just the design of their life, and that's what they're used to. And sometimes people been hurt so much before that if they're not hurting or if they're not with somebody that's unstable, they don't even know how to feel themselves. Because that's what they talk about in the book too, The Little Life. They talk about how like the dude cut himself just basically because he feel like he's not supposed to be happy. So sometimes these people, they go through stuff, they feel like they're not supposed to be happy.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna leave it with this, like especially like with relationships, and a lot of times, even though people have done us wrong, we always look at. I know I do it. I can only speak for myself. It's like you look at situations, you always pick up the part where you're the victim, but you don't really look at what you've done to that person. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, there's always two sides to every story and everything, and you just have to kind of look back on things and realize like, hey, I done wrong too. I need to work on myself.
That's the part. And I was going to say that you picked up that I thought about the mental health part of it. You'll keep probably going through the same vicious cycles if you don't get the right help to heal, to move.
And know that this is a part of it is you.
Yeah. You got to take ownership.
Because I know some women, they'd have met Legion that first day. They'd be like, man, you look like you. And so, but I know some that would have been like, they still be with Legion. They would to this day, they would have been doing an episode. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, stay pimping.
Yeah. So next topic that we were discussing was so I don't know how to introduce this topic. So we saw I saw something.
Yeah, you brought it to my attention.
Yeah, I brought it to attention. So there's a group. They're called they're called Carbonation. And they started out as Melanin Nation or something. Then they had different names, and the leader of the group, his name is Nature Boy. He has the name Chief. He just had like different 3G, God at one point.
Baba
something, but
and they based out of Atlanta.
They're based out of Atlanta, but they were
Babylon. They call it Babylon.
Yeah, because they call everywhere Babylon. That's basically.
Oh yeah.
Because they still because in Jamaica they call the police and they call everybody that's outside of Rastafarianism Babylon too. So they steal a lot from different religions and a lot from different views and things. So they started out with the whole idea of natural and moving back to they moved to where did they move to? I don't know if it's Peru, but I can't remember.
I know they said Costa Rica.
Yeah, they moved around the country, so they started a cult. And this is what I want to talk about because I'm looking at these people, I'm listening to their stories, and I'm listening to how these look like normal, educated people. That's these women are very good looking women. Yeah. They had good jobs. Some of them was in the service. You know what I'm saying? Then I listen to some of the dudes. They talk. They're they don't sound like somebody that's searching for. But I knew during the pandemic, because this started around during the pandemic. A lot of people was trying to find themselves.
Yeah,
26. I think that the one I watched, I think she said it 2017.
Yeah. So it was and a lot of people were trying to find themselves, and he have a certain type of people too that he brings in, but he was abusing these people.
Yeah, and actually he just.
And I shouldn't even say that word, but he was a word.
Yeah, but he was just charged.
Aping some of the women.
He was just charged. So
yeah, he was just charged. Yeah, but I'm saying that word YouTube don't like that word. Yeah, so but he was charged. He got life plus 10.
Yeah, and
when you listen to some of their stories and what happened,
it's
crazy. What's the one dude? I listened to his whole. Actually, I listened to him talk on the internet. I can't remember his name, but he was a part of the group. And then some people are still a part of it, his wives and stuff. Yeah. But they got to the point where they thought he was God.
Well, they know that they think he's God.
Yeah, they think he's.
Yeah, they still is.
No. But they didn't start off like that.
Oh yeah,
they didn't start off like that. He was just they all were gods. Because the whole three gods thing is we all have God in us. But he got to the point where they start believing he's God. One of the creepiest part I saw in the video when he came in and said he was tired and he took his shoes. He made the guys take his shoes off and start massaging his feet. These grown men start massaging his feet, and it was he got to the point where he wanted to just marry all the women that's in the group because he was really. They allegedly they say he wanted to make all the women his wife and turn all the men into eunuchs. Eunuchs. You know what eunuchs are, right?
No, help me out.
Get rid of their
Oh no,
their genitalia.
Because they all started. They all started off. They was paired together.
Yeah, they were all in pairs. They were all like, you're married to her. You're married to her. So if you came in a group, you had to have a wife. But then but they got to the point where he was like taking people wives and stuff. And it's like I was watching this one dude. I can't remember his name. It started with an M, and I can't remember her name. But she was talking about when she used to go talk to her husband about, this crazy stuff. Because she's like, I just came because her sense of coming was because of the whole natural idea of living off the land, right?
Right.
And forming this group because it's carbonation, because it's supposed to be a new nation being formed. And then, but it's really a cult. But she was talking about how when she would go talk to her husband about he's trying to bring me in, he's trying to sleep with me, and he would be like, no, Chief is not, and he was trying to, Chief, this is why Chief is doing it. It's like crazy just watching these grown men worshiping this grown man.
Big muscular man too.
Yeah, right. And it's not like, because that's what's crazy about it too. They don't look like little punks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They all like big, like cocky dudes. Like
hair and ponytails and all types.
Yeah. Like it's just weird.
Yeah, it's just crazy because like because you got me starting. I just watched a few little things on it, and it's just wild because it's like it's infused with hip hop and rap music. They getting kicked out of clubs in Atlanta. They can't even get in clubs in Atlanta. They got kicked off of Spirit Airlines because
they stank so bad.
They smell so bad
because they didn't. Because they said allegedly they didn't believe in like
using soap,
or like using the bathroom in bathrooms. Yeah. They like went outside and did use the bathroom by trees.
Yeah, and they just
and use leaves to wipe off.
Well, one of the girls said that they actually use toilet paper, but they only can use six toilet paper because it's so many of them. Yeah. So they had to and she said they would go in and wash up, but they didn't use soap. So
they just used plain water. They couldn't use soap because their leader feared that the toxins from the soap would get inside their bodies and stuff. All I gotta say is some wild stories. It's some wild.
And just watching it,
the sexual stuff is just wild.
Yeah, it's explicit.
It's wild. I can't even get into it. It's disturbing.
It's very disturbing. And these are all, and they did have white people in the group at one point, but it's crazy because white people parents don't play. So, he had to stop. He had to kick them all out, and they had to go home because their parents is like, no, this ain't going. This is not. Where's Beth? This is not going down. I'm sorry about that. This is not going down like this. You're coming home because I remember the video he did was like, we not letting no more white people live because they don't play that. Like
that's true.
And then it's like, I'm just saying the craziest part about it is like, just listen to them and they all sound so articulate and they're aesthetically pleasing people that they are able to be controlled like that. Right. It's weird as hell. Because he used to be a model and he used to be in the service too.
Yeah, and he used to do some other stuff.
And he did a lot of other stuff that we can't really talk about on the show. He used to be a stripper. Yeah, and then he just like got on YouTube or got online and just started talking about I'm trying to build something.
And the crazy thing is like I don't think he was really recruiting people. People just saw the video and people just
because they see this person that look like he has everything together and he a model and they like like we gotta listen to, he talked about the land, he talked about natural. So so people are a lot of times people get obsessed with health too, with health and being, and they like, we gonna follow this.
And then a lot of these people that was in this cult, they were in school and he was using their student loans and PPP loans.
And people were donating money to them too.
Yeah, so it's just crazy. I mean, like I said, I'm not condoning it. It's just crazy, like just to see the psyche of these people. Wow. That's college educated,
college educated, and
coming from families, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's like listening to them talk about their families, and it's so funny because I was watching one of the wives, pretty girl, I can't remember her name, when they was I was about to say interrogating, when it was cross-examining her in court, and she was like, I have to check my notes. I'm like, ain't no notes. You use your memory. Your memory is your notes. Because she like still believed that this man is still God.
Oh man.
Still believe the man is still God.
My Baba come to get you. He heard you.
Yeah, man. It's y'all like, so you gotta watch it.
I'm gonna have to. You want to introduce me to this?
Yeah, he introduced me to it too.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's like It's like I saw. This is how I got introduced to it. I just was just watching stuff on YouTube one day, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I was like, this. I thought it was like they were doing like a reality TV show or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was
And then I was like, because of how they look.
Yeah, because
they look like normal people.
it looks like Survivor.
Yeah, Survivor
meets
So I'm like-
Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, so I'm like these people. I'm like, this is beautiful land and stuff. Then I started seeing them on different Atlanta-based YouTubes, and they was talking about how crazy they was.
And they got kicked out of 7 countries.
Yeah, they got some, and just listening to all the stuff with them, and I was like, oh, this stuff is kind of interesting. And then the court case, then when he got arrested, I remember that, and I stopped paying attention to it. And then now when they went to court, I'm like, this is crazy. How do you allow yourself to be? They do say that, and it's only a theory. They do say that we have a worship gene, which is because there's never been there's never been a civilization of people, even if they're connected or disconnected from each other, where they don't worship something.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So could you see I know you've been a fan of somebody. Have you ever been a crazy fan? You could just whatever they doing wrong or they doing something wrong, or you no, I'm a fan of this person, whatever. Have
Did you used
ever...
to call your ex-husband Baba? I'm joking. Go ahead.
I had other names, but it wasn't Baba. So I could say no. I thank God that for the most part, there's a point where it's no, that don't seem right. It don't sit well with me. And maybe it's my upbringing from having grew up in the church and just kind of knowing, to a certain degree of rights from wrong. And this don't seem right. This don't seem right. So that's where I've always been. I haven't been one of those people that follows. I'm one of those people that really do pay attention and be like,
Yeah.
Could you see yourself doing it?
What?
The thing about it, how I thought about it, and what really amazed me about it is the fact that I know I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it is amazing
Did you say he smacked a grown man for strawberries or something?
He fed him strawberries because he used to have them feeding him, and the dude was feeding him strawberries.
Muscular
Big muscular dude.
Yeah,
And he was dude fed him strawberries. He just slapped the dog taste out of his mouth. He was like, sorry, Baba.
It ain't funny, but
It's not really funny, but it's because we shouldn't laugh at victims. Because it's a cult. So where these people actually worship this guy.
yeah.
This is
and he did
wild.
nothing wrong. Just left him, just because.
Because he fed him strawberries. He don't like strawberries, and Baba don't like strawberries.
Yeah, I can't. Man,
so,
what?
But you know what I think is gonna happen though, because listen to the story. A lot of them dudes gonna end up in jail too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the ape charges, he was telling a lot of the guys to do those. Yeah. And if a lot of those women start pressing charges on these dudes, a lot of them dudes gonna end up in jail too. I know one of their names Solar, because Solar he was connected with Jaguar Wright too at one point.
And they were saying the one lady that was his wife kind of helped with the case too, because they say she was jealous because he was sleeping with
but she didn't testify.
All I gotta say it's a while.
Yeah, she left, and when you listen to her story, you listen to her story, I gotta say her story.
Yeah.
When you listen to her story, it sounds very believable because she didn't never think he was God. She never thought he was God, but she did believe that he was there to actually help them. You know what I'm saying? But when you listen to her story, that's why they couldn't. I feel like that's a big part of it. They couldn't control her. Not completely, but she's the one whose husband was but Baba said we should, everything, and they made him have them babies, in the,
Yeah, it's why.
That was, okay, the picture don't show the kids in the baby.
They had kids too.
Yeah,
And then a lot of stuff with the kids. We don't want to talk about
that.
But they didn't do anything to the kids.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to the kids.
Yeah, to the kids. But it's a lot. Yeah, they had the kids at home without midwives and stuff. So they had to take one of them to a hospital. And the hospital I think was in Belize or something. I don't remember exactly what country. But it was they didn't speak English, and then it was it was a clinic because she didn't have insurance for because she had insurance, but how her insurance didn't work for that country, and it was it's crazy.
Yeah, y'all gotta look it up.
Y'all gotta go see it, but it's wild.
Survivor meets Love and Hip Hop.
This is the final portion of the show. I get to get rid of E Jizzle or whatever the hell your name is. He gets to go to his box.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, So this is the portion. Go ahead.
This is our featured topic portion. We have 2 featured topics left, everyone. So this is the featured topic sweepstakes. You seen the?
Okay.
So our first topic we have is competition needed for success, even if it's friendly? When I put these in there, you gotta mix them up because he always my cheek.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and topic number 2 is, why do you think people have a lack of patience for anything, whatever you want to know, anything? Because I have a lack of patience right now with this cause, but you good, Brittany.
Once you go,
Right,
once
good.
you go join Carbonation, you become the new.
Everybody be. I don't want to say the YouTube, but
You know what I'm gonna do when y'all leave?
What?
Go upstairs and watch Carbonation.
I'm watching too.
It's so addictive,
I'm
bro.
just like, what?
Yeah. Let's see what you got. Look at my truck.
Yeah, let's not be
your nails.
My nails is
let's not be like
y'all.
last week. You remember last week we was doing the topic and then we forgot to start the recording.
Oh yeah. Topic number 2. Why do you think people have a lack of patience? That's with anything.
Go ahead. Who want to go first? You go. Okay, I think that people have a lack of patience because we're spoiled. Yeah. And we get everything so freely and so quick. So it's kind of like even like we was talking about earlier, Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so addicted to Amazon that if they tell me my stuff coming the next day, I'm mad because we have a lack of patience because we get used. Man, we are so spoiled in America. There's a lot of people that moved out of America during like the COVID time because of all the the justice system and things that were going on. And a lot of those people, they moved to Africa. A lot of black people that moved to Africa. A lot of them are coming back because they're impatient because of like they can't get the foods that they want to get. They can't get the like mail. Like we are spoiled. Here, like, dude. So that's why we have a lack of patience because technology has spoiled us. So that's why our patience is so nil. And then even like lack of patience in relationships and stuff because it's easy to meet somebody new because guess what we have? We have the internet, right? It's easier. It's easier. I'm talking. It's easier to.
It's easier. I'm about to say.
As far as like finding somebody to sleep with. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people get into like bad. You know what I'm saying?
We talk about that at the show.
What I'm saying is,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you go on IG. Somebody in your DM, you know what I'm saying? You didn't have that back in the day.
True.
You had to be patient. You had to be patient, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just like studying and learning stuff. Like you can order books off Amazon or like everything is so free to us. Go ahead.
And speaking of DMs, women always talk about dudes being their DMs, but we ain't gonna talk about the women that be.
So it's like we have easy access to stuff. So that's why. True. So it messes with your patience.
That's true. I would agree. I was gonna just say just the microwave pop culture that we living in. So to your point, it's just everything is just immediate. Nobody wants to wait. I also being a mom, I know your dad. So just having my children and them growing up, like they're impatient because technology has advanced so much. Everything has just changed over time and they just want it now. You know what I mean? They don't want to wait. And when we were growing up, you kind of didn't have no choice. So,
do you talk to these young people from like new generation, like from like the older ones now? They all feel like the world about to end.
But you know what's so funny?
it seemed like it though, because cash is starting to be less and less needed. Now everything is right at the boom. You know what I mean? Like instant.
It does. Yeah, it does. But it's like sometimes I feel like they're not patient too. That makes them start looking at things like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, what are you saying?
But the crazy thing is, like, I've always had a problem with patience. I have always been an impatient person. Even growing up, the way we grew up, I have always been an impatient person, and that's like one of the things that I've always had to work on is being patient. Is because I've always hate waiting on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just. But I think I'm just gonna go back to social media. I think a lot of times people. I know. You know what? I can't even just say social media because, like, even when you're driving, you know, you have people that's driving past you, speeding past you, so they can just get to the
next light.
Yeah, to the red light. And we at the red light together. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, where are you going?
Right.
And so that you need to, you know,
always been
push me off the road.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But I think a lot of times, like, people, you know, like to compare their life to other people's lives on social media. Is you know, talking to younger people, I talk to younger people all the time, and it's just like, you talk about money, you like, well, you can go get a job at McDonald's or whatever. Like, oh, I'm not working at McDonald's. You know what I'm
because
saying?
they seeing somebody else's life on.
Yeah.
And I know like grown people that we deal with too that be like, I know that it was somebody that a friend of mine, somebody that it was in a relationship with, and she used to be telling him like, I was a nobody. She used to always say I was a nobody because I'm not like an influencer on social media, or I don't have like, I have a regular job and I don't have like, this was back in the day, I don't have like, and it's like, she's an idiot though, but it's kind of like people have designed themselves like
That's
that,
true.
and they see these things, and that's a part of their impatience too, where they feel like they have to have these things, you know, they have to have these things and see these things right in front of them in order for people to actually, for somebody to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that's a part of their patience. Like, well, I just put like, I'm on there for clicks and views. I get clicks and views. I make money off the internet and stuff like that. What do you do?
Yeah, but I think a lot of people just kind of, sometimes they lack hustle. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you can't always put all your eggs in one basket. It's like, even when I talk to these kids, they're like, well, you know, like, you can work at McDonald's. Like, oh, McDonald's will pay. I'm like, well, you don't have to work at McDonald's for the rest of your life. You can work at McDonald's. While you working at McDonald's, you can find something else to do. You can find something. You know what I'm saying? You can find something else to supplement what you're trying to get. It's like, you don't have to just like, oh, I work at McDonald's and that's end all be all.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, like me, you know, I try to have my hands in, you know, a lot of other things outside of, you know, like me working. You know, I have like my clothing line I do. I have like, I'm blessed enough to have, you know, like stocks and stuff like that. So it's just like, you have to just find different ways in order to, you know, get what you want.
Plus you work at McDonald's too. So.
Hey, I mean, if I had to, I would.
I know,
and
right?
you get free meals.
That's the thing.
You was just talking about your stomach hurt from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I know, that's true. But McDonald's is my root. That was my first job, you know.
Really, Burger King was my first job.
Burger King was my...
Oh.
Burger.
He had a lot of fast food jobs.
But you know, back in the day, it was plentiful. You could quit a job like.
You could.
Yeah,
I find another one.
Oh, when I got fired from Burger King, my manager was like, "You fired?" I'm like, "Well, I am fighting right now, so." Kind of knew that was next.
I got fired from BurgerKing because they had me on a schedule coming in, and I was still in high school, and I'm like, I can't come in. They was like, well, you can't leave school early. I'm like, what? I ain't leaving school early. Come work.
Oh, I used to work at KFC, and they had me working like 40 hours damn near.
Yeah.
I told you the story about that, and then
It
it was like
was
the manager was like, yeah.
I worked at a grocery store. If you live in Akron, I worked at a grocery store in Akron called Apples. And they used to have me working from like 3 to 11, like on the weeknights, like they were every night.
Yeah. They had me working like, and then I had the best job when I worked at TJ Maxx. Like that was my last job when I was leaving, going away to college, because I was like, man, I am not about to be doing this fast food stuff.
Yeah. But
I need a job where I can steal clothes. Allegedly.
But see, I think like with us growing up, it's just like you work those jobs or whatever, and you know, I was, you know, once I got a job, I had to, you know, buy my own school clothes. I had to, you know, get my own lunch and all that other stuff. You know, we didn't have the social media, so it's just like the only time we really competed is like, hey, you got the new Jordans,
right?
Let me get the new Jordan. But it's like now these kids be wanting Maseratis and you know Range Rovers and stuff, and you 17, 18 years old. It's just like, I'm like, this LeBron's son got that because his daddy's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so.
But the idea of who we are is just an idea, right? The idea of like how you live is just an idea on social media. It's like you don't really live like that. We have this warped sense of reality, and it's kind of like a lot of people like destined to just destroy themselves based on somebody else that's probably not even living like that, or don't understand that the people that are living like that is such a small percentile, but you see it, you constantly see it because that's the what we look into that narrowness of, you know what I'm saying, just like when Kanye would talk about like some of the issues that Kanye would talk about the industry as far as like the modeling industry and the fashion industry, and those are things that don't affect us, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't affect us personally, but people would just be so into it and be like, "Yeah, he's right," and I'm like, "What, man? I ordered that Easy shirt, that the new shirt he had. Gosh, it looked like a pillowcase. It looked like a pillowcase because it's like a square. I look like I'm wearing a pillowcase, but it's like people get so in tune and so wrapped up into stuff that doesn't even matter to us for real.
So we're gonna reel this back into relationships. Since you deal with relationships, so why do you think people lack patience when it comes to like relationships?
I mean, I still think it's because of what they see all around them, whether it be on social media, whether it's their family members or family or friends that, you know, relationships are thriving. Like, I want it now. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not getting any younger, especially for females. You know, I'm not getting younger. My clock is ticking. Yeah. So it's like I want it, and I think, you know, that might have been a little bit of what Reese Tisa was kind of experiencing as well. Mm-hmm. It's just the like, I need to get to the stage of, you know, I'm way past due.
And plus that idea of Christianity too. Because, because religion forces that on you, that you have to have that.
It does.
So I'm about to ask you a question, and I don't want you to speak for every, you know, woman, but I have, you know, we all have opinions, and I have an opinion, and my opinion may be wrong, but it's still my opinion. Yeah. But do you think like I don't want to say a lot. Do you think some women get married just for the perception of being married? Like, oh, somebody wants me, somebody wants to marry me. They just in love with the fact of not being in love with a person, but they just in love with the fact of being married.
Can I say something real quick? Yeah. She gonna agree with you because that is the truth.
I was gonna say that's an easy answer. Yeah. Yes. You know, I will even use my mom as an example. At one point or another, I was married, and my mom wasn't. And she had been, you know, single for a while, you know, dating this guy and and she would always just keep bringing up the fact, well, I mean, you can't relate because you married already. Like, I'm just not understanding why such and such is married and they married and I'm not married and I look better than her and And she's like, when is it going to be my turn? So it is just like, I want that status. And it's funny now because fast forward to now and my mom like, I should have listened to you. I should have listened to you. I don't know what I rushed into this for. Yeah, that's literally what she said. Yeah. So for a lot of females, it is just having that status, just being able to say I'm the wife, and you know it does, you know, hold some weight. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because you look at some of these celebrities, they get married and like 6 months later
they're like I'm done. This is like crazy that I even did this because marriage is because everything's so instantaneous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like married, and then it's like people are not spiritually invested in religion anymore. No. So it's kind of like they're like, because Christianity is big on, and everybody's like, well, I'm a spiritual person. Right. Everybody want to use that. It's like, no, like, dude, you're a spiritual person, but people ask you, what do you believe in? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't even be spiritual.
Yeah, but can you look at it like, as you know, sometimes like, you know, like back in the day or whatever, people stayed married no matter what. Like, you know, kids being born out of wedlock. I mean, I can look at my family and look at some stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I just think like, you know, sometimes, you know, nowadays it's like, oh, I'm not putting up with that. Yep. You know,
because it's easy access to other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? There's easy access to like where you ain't gotta put up with that because it's kind of like especially if a woman's attractive. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody else will always want her. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't got to put up with like this rinky dink because sometimes the playing field is based on aesthetics and based on how people look. Sometimes, just like the playing field is based on how much money people got. The playing field is based on how smart how smart somebody is because they can bring something else to the table. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of different things that actually levels out the playing field, and then plus we get to see it online too. That's true. And then people could be like Legion, allegedly, and just lie, and you will believe everything which is not true, and you could pull somebody in that way. Because guess what? People are so addicted to flash. You know what I'm saying? So they like, because when you was listening to her story, tell me, when you was listening to her story, she talking about all the things that he had. Yeah, all the things that he had. Because she wanted that flash. She was like,
did.
You know what I'm saying? He was talking about, she was like, and then she admitted, she said to go home and not to have to pay no bills.
Yep.
She said she was addicted to that.
Very honest, yeah.
She said that made her feel like, damn, I ain't had to pay. I wish I had to pay no bills.
Hey, man, at least you might have been a scammer. You was doing something right.
He was credit because he knew it was going. Man, Legion, you should teach a class on scamming.
Hey.
He might have been whatever he doing, man. The bills was getting paid.
Yeah,
Legion is it Legion Jamaican? Because I know some Jamaicans. Jamaican and African scammers, man, they be like, ooh, because I know some people in my family that be
so. I mean, so how? Yeah.
Not the fam.
Allegedly.
So how do you think that we could deal with having patience? Especially like nowadays if you're dating, and because nowadays it's like you could go on 1-2 dates and be like just ghost a person. You know what I'm saying? So they can do the smallest thing. Like I done seen stuff with people like, I couldn't stand the way this person chew their food, or
and then they go home and block them.
Yep. No, legit. No, what?
Because it's easy to block people. Though.
It is.
Like back in the day, you couldn't
block nobody.
Back in the day, you couldn't block. Yeah, back in the day, you couldn't block nobody.
I just ignore them, or just be like, or just feed them like okay, or just like little one word.
Yeah.
Okay, Legion, but go ahead.
But how you think we could? Hey, why gotta be Legion of Doom? But how you think we could, work on having more patience, or Terrence, you can chime in too.
What? I mean, with anything. I mean, having patience is just. Patience is virtue. Patience is based on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So as far as like how we can work on patience, you have to directly work on being patient.
Yeah.
Just you have to directly work on the idea of, you have to be conscious of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'm not patient because I'm not conscious of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
true.
so it's kind of like when I realized that, Gandhi talk about that. When you read about Gandhi, talk about being patient. And, and just sometimes you have to sit in moments.
Yes.
And that will help you with your patience. You have to sit in moments, because patience is everything. Because your patience in your relationships is also your patience in your job. Your patience in your job is also your patience, like going to the damn grocery store and the line is long as hell. Like your patience is just something that you have to work on all parts of your life. Because guess what? Everything affects other parts of your life. Yeah. Everything that you do. So I feel like you just have to work on your patience within. You know what I'm saying? Your patience with your son is your patience with your son's mama and your patience with your new girlfriend. What's her name?
I ain't got no girlfriend.
I was just talking. I'm joking. Look, he's smiling.
You better have people.
He's like, how you know?
You better have people hit my phone like.
No, but what I'm saying is, all these things work together. All those things work together, because who you are is who you are as a totality.
I gotta throw my phone against the wall and say, bro.
No, I was joking. I was joking. Anybody patient enough to be with that ugly?
No, they ain't. Hey, he ain't lying.
But go ahead. What was you saying about?
I would say I agree with what you said, definitely, and I would say patience too. Being able to know that you need to have your own realm, your own things going on, because I think a lot of times people also are so impatient because they're so caught up in maybe this particular person, because you don't have enough going on in your own life. So maybe focus on your goals and, becoming a better you. And then that way you can kind of be able to realize like, okay, like, you go out with your friends and be cool with it, and I'm gonna be doing this over here. And a lot of times that balance helps, whether, mainly in relationships, but it also just helps just overall. So
that's
definitely
balance. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got? Anything last to say?
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah, because you're the one that's struggling with this patience. So what we gonna do here?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm being patient. Sometimes I'm cool and patient. Sometimes I'm like nonchalant, don't care. I've always been told I'm like because I'm like not really like the jealous type. So I don't ask questions and all that other stuff. And you know what? I find that like
he's an envious person.
Okay.
He's wicked.
No, I don't really do this with it. I don't be asking
Evil.
questions.
Not
Like,
evil. Oh no.
I just go with the flow, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's enough
weird.
patience. I'm very patient, but we're not gonna keep talking about patience for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Well, so what? Who you got to shout out? Or who you want to? We do want to thank you for coming back.
Yeah,
For coming on the show, not
I
coming back.
appreciate y'all
Yeah,
having
we
me.
want you to come back
This is
too.
awesome. This is awesome.
Please come back.
Well, I want to take the time to thank you guys.
Oh, no
I really
problem.
appreciate it. I
Yeah,
mean, I know
yeah.
that we had said, the podcast United, that we were going to do this, and I appreciate you guys even just having me in
But
thought
you kept like telling us no.
No, I did not.
But we were very patient.
No, I did not.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
He is.
But we got you here. We were
Now you
big.
hating on you.
I know. Dang, what the heck?
Okay. Anything else you want to say, Eric?
Oh, no, I'm good.
All right. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of
Yeah, make
Thought
sure
OPPS.
you support
Make sure
everything
you
Brittany does.
like, share, and subscribe.
That's right.
Brittany should night.
Brittany,
No, my main name is Knight.
your maiden name is Knight.
It is Knight.
Should night.